It has been a journey of political bickering, court injunctions and graft allegations. But construction of the standard gauge railway soldiers on, despite the setbacks from, among others, a section of economists and environmentalists.
Wanachochea ya kwamba ati reli hii ikijengwa itaharibu park hii ya Nairobi. Hiyo ni upuzi, hakuna kitu kama hicho. Park bado itaendelea, na tungependa wawache kuchochea, wawache hiyo mambo ya kupeleka watu kotini, wacha tujenge railway. Kenya inataka kuendelea mbele.
For close to 1,500 days, more than 25,000 workers have worked tirelessly to make the SGR dream a reality. According to the Kenya Railways, the workers included 556 managerial staff, 3,505 technicians and 7,000 general workers. Others include 5,400 workers employed by local subcontractors and 3,100 engaged by suppliers, including 1,340 local security personnel.
The Nairobi railway terminus is expected to handle about 1 million plus people on an annual basis. Now, the man who was tasked with ensuring that this project comes into fruition is none other than Mr. Atanas Maina. He's the managing director of Kenya Railways Corporation. He's now joining us to help us understand more about this project and what it actually means for the country, Kenya.
In the next 5 years from commencement, we expect that we'll start off slowly. There will be a steady increase of cargo. Our target is to ensure that there is a proper modal shift between road and rail. Across the world, rails, the modal shift share between road and rail is roughly about rails. The best rails do maximum 40%. Roads do the balance of 60%.
Now that the phase 1 of the project is almost complete, focus is now turning to the economic and social benefits of the project. The government says once completed, the project is expected to contribute close to 2% of Kenya's annual economic growth rate.
As we continue to operate this train, one, we are expecting increased connectivity in Kenya, a rapid shipment and transit of goods and services between Kenyans and even for export. But more excitedly, we expect to have every stopover emerging into some metropolitan of sort, which in turn, because it you have necessary extractive and productive industries.
The government has been on a borrowing spree to fund the 327 billion shillings project. Kenya is shouldering 15% of this cost, with the remaining 85% coming from China. The rail trip from Nairobi to Mombasa will take only 4 hours, easing pressure on the Kenyan roads. The SGR project is expected to reduce rail transport costs from 25 shillings to 10 shillings per ton per kilometre.
In a train, you have about 30 buses, the equivalent of 30 buses, and you're doing that 4 times, because you have 4 trains a day, 120 buses, all right. So again, it becomes a huge traveling supermarket. So it is bound to be competitive.
This cost saving is generated by use of block trains with economies of large scale compared to narrow gauge and road transport. The cement and steel industries have been the biggest beneficiaries of the SGR. The services sector has also not been left out, since services such as healthcare, catering, security and entertainment are being provided to SGR workers.
We have 33 stations across between Mombasa and Nairobi. 8 of those are passenger handling terminals, so it is very easy now for one to access Athi River, to go to Emali, to go to Kibwezi, Mtito Andei, Voi, Mariakani, and even Miaseni at Bechuma Gate. So this corridor has really opened up, and we believe there are opportunities for people to do business and for people to make leisure, people to travel safely, people to travel efficiently, and people to do business along SGR.
Through on-the-job training and skills transfer, thousands of Kenyans are expected to receive first-hand railway engineering at the Beijing Jiaotong University. This will ensure that Kenya has a well-trained pool of personnel to operate and maintain the SGR. The Mombasa to Nairobi train services will operate 4 trips per day, ferrying 12,000 passengers daily. Though the government has remained tight-lipped on fares, the cost on SGR is expected to be competitive as the service provider prepares to introduce the premier class in coming months. In 5 years' time, the freight train is projected to carry 6,000 tons of cargo from the port of Mombasa, which is about 23% of the current cargo handled at the port of Mombasa.
We are providing a service that will make it possible for all Kenyans to travel. So we have looked at what the buses are charging. We are looking at their capacity, and ours we have a lot more capacity to move a lot more people. So there is a lot of economies of scale, and therefore we believe that we will provide a fare that is conducive for all the Kenyans to be able to travel.
Though this project has raised Kenya's debt portfolio by almost 30%, the government says its long-term benefits far much outweigh the debt risk that the country has entered into.
It will also refocus road development into connecting intermediary urban centers with the hinterland, rather than connecting the two major urban centers, or the three, Nairobi, Mombasa, Eldoret, Kisumu, because the train will do that for us.
As Kenya starts to enjoy the benefits of Phase 1 of SGR, focus is now turning to Phase 2 of the project, which starts from Naivasha to Kisumu, and the government of China has indicated its willingness to fund the project.
With the completion of the first phase of SGR from Mombasa to Nairobi now almost complete, the attention is now turning to Phase 2 of SGR, which is going to cost about $3.5 billion US. Now, Phase 2 is even more complicated in terms of design-wise and engineering as well. The question is, the engineers who have been working on this project have managed to complete this Phase 1 of SGR 18 months ahead of schedule. The question is, will they be able to pull the same on the Phase 2 of SGR? Well, let's wait and see.